Haha. All right. Welcome back to the road to $1 million company. My name is Jeremy. I'm the CEO and founder of Hornet Energy, which is an all-natural energy gel based on honey and pink Himalayan salt. And welcome back. I have not uploaded on this channel for 84 weeks. 84 weeks. A lot has happened in the past 84 weeks. A lot. Initially, I had stopped uploading on this channel because I was just too busy. I had a hard time focusing on what actually mattered. And when you are scaling a business, and that every hour counts really towards making an ROI, I didn't think that this series was driving one back then. However, I really wish that I had pursued and continued this, because now there's a massive gap of 84 weeks in this series. We're at week 134. We're at $602,000, I think, something like that, which is crazy because last upload was week 50 and was $31,000. Since then, I mean, we've had days, and I mean days, where we made over $20,000, and so the business has grown significantly. I have grown significantly, I think, and it's been one hell of a process. So I'll kind of do like a recap of what transpired during that time, and I'll keep the uploads on a weekly basis thereafter. So, well, I do it for myself. I do it for personal brand. I don't know what to make of this, but I'm just having fun with this. My main job is not making these videos; it's to run this business. And so yeah, I'll just make a quick update on what's going on and what happened in the past 84 weeks. So, if I recall, November of 2024, we made like $3,000 this month. Pretty much right now, we're based in Canada. We're based in Montreal, and so right now, I mean, all of our sales really come from the endurance market, like endurance, running, cycling, triathlons, whatever. And in Montreal, in Canada, during the winter, so from starting November, well, December-ish to February, no one really runs outside except the crazy ones, which, shout out if you are one, if you're listening, if you're watching. But yeah, so November was a pretty mid-month in 2024. But we had some success. I think we had made like eight grand in September of 2024. And yeah, so we spent that winter kind of relaunching. So oh my god, that's the year prior. I'm mixing myself. That's crazy. So 2024, the winter 2024. I'll get it right. It's been a minute. It's crazy how time flies. Really, week 134, close to 3 years since launching this business. Anyhow, so November 2024, I'll get to it. We spent the winter developing our new flavors, because back then we had a single SKU. We had our original gel, which was honey, pink Himalayan salt, and matcha, which is still our best individual and singular seller as of today. But yeah, we developed our first 3 flavors, which were blueberry, raspberry, and apple cinnamon, that are now called berries and cinnamon. And we launched that in April. But I recall during that winter, we were so close to going bankrupt over a few $1,000s, which of course, if you're going bankrupt over a few $1,000s, you find a way. But we were broke, and I was doing the testing myself. But we had a spark of genius, if you will. I think it was in February. It was back when Donald Trump, it was right after he was reinstated as president. And so he was talking about the tariffs. The tariffs were massive. And in Canada, you had this kind of appeal of the masses, if you will, that we should be Canadian and we should protect who we are and all this stuff. And so I recall it was on a Sunday night during one of our weekly meetings at the company. We had the idea to run an ad that would be calling out these tariffs, pretty much. Well, not really calling out, just more like, telling Canadian customers, like, yo, right now it's time to feel Canadian, it's time to choose Canadian, it's time to, choose local, and you might be using American gels. Why? We are a Canadian brand and we make a nice gel. So that was kind of the ad that we made. We still run it to this day. more than 2 years later, we still run this ad. It's been doing great. But initially we launched the ad, and back then, like for us, like an ad budget back in September of 2024 was probably like, I don't even know, like $50 a day at most, maybe 100. I don't know, maybe 100. And so yeah, so we made this ad. So we had the idea on a Sunday. We made the ad, went to shoot it, scripted it, shot it, edited it. I'm French. Edited it, if you will. And we posted it on the Wednesday, and the ad pretty much went viral. So I think within the first week, it was like a 10 ROAS or something. And there's a saying from the great Alex Hormozy. I recall one time he said, if you ever post an ad and get more than 5 ROAS, just load your credit card. And so we did. And the ad for us made us so much money. Like it made us like, I think 50K over that year in last year in 2025. And so 50K was a decent amount of money for us. I think we made in February 8K, so we surpassed September in that month of February. And then March we scaled, we made 13,000. And then April 1st, not an April Fool's, we launched our new flavors. So we launched our blueberry raspberry and apple cinnamon gel, which was a success. So we just continued, piling on this momentum, new flavors, more ads. And April we made 23,000, which was our best month ever by far, close to 3x, well, more than 3x pretty much, of our best month of the year prior. And early May of 2025, we went on Dragon's Den. That's right. So we shot the episode in May of 2025. It wasn't aired till this March, so it took us, 10 months to see us on TV. We were the last, company to air pretty much, so to be fair, not that bad. But yeah, I mean, we just kept on scaling as much as we could, and we had no employees. We had an awful machine. Now we have this machine right here, which now is great. I've got a whole story on that, trust me. But our old machine was working enough. We were able to make the gels at a decent rate, like about, I think on average it was like 600 gels an hour, which was scalable. At I think it was $23,000 in April. That means roughly 11 to 12,000 gels. It's give or take 24 hours or on a month. So we could afford to spend the time to make the gels, and we had no employees. It was only us because the machine was so unpredictable. We couldn't hire. I would put my hand to fire that whoever we had hired with the old machine would have quit within a week. So this happened, and we just kept on scaling. Back then, I also had a job in the month of. Oh my God, I'm getting mixed up in my years. No, that's right. So on that year, I was working in a funeral home. Yeah, I was a funeral home clerk. I was the one placing dead people in their coffins. I was taking the urns to the families, the whole stick. I was looking for a job because I was broke. I had quit my prior job in October of 2024 because I thought, we were rich. $7,000, $8,000 in September. We're rich, man. Quit your job. Definitely not. Wait. A good piece of advice is wait till you can't. And so I had to pick up another job now, back then, which was in January, which was the, that job. Am I getting mixed up in my time, in my years? No, I'm not. That's it, actually. 2025, yeah. Yeah, 2025, yeah. So, funeral home job. I got that job in January, and I stayed, and I was working that job for a while. So going on Dragon's Den, scaling. We also, both me and Mari, my co-founder, my CMO, we signed up for a marathon for September. It was the Montreal Marathon. And so our whole theme of that summer was scaling and hell. It was the worst time of my life. I can assuredly tell you so. We were working so much, just making the gels, shipping out the gels, because we scaled from I think it was 23K in April, then 31 in May, 27 in June, kind of a slowdown, and then it was like, if I'm not mistaken, 42 in July, 48 in August, 54 and a half in September. And so at that point, we make money, I had quit my job in August because, I could afford now to pay myself a little bit of a salary, and just, well, I just couldn't afford not to be full time on this company. So I quit that funeral home job. We ran our marathons. It was in September. I think that was it the 21st of September of 2025. I ran mine in 3 hours and 33. Matty ran his in 3 hours and 48. It was my second marathon. It was his first. Running at 3:48 as your first marathon is mental. And right now he runs more than I do, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna beat my ass next race. So yeah, I mean, the business scaled so much, and during that summer it was hell. And I mean it. We were working so much, but eventually we found our way, and we released our caffeine gels with black tea. That was in early September of 2025. That was a great push. So initially, when we launched caffeine, it was our three gels. We had original, blueberry, raspberry, and apple cinnamon. They all had their 50 milligrams of caffeine variant with black tea. We ran a lot of polls. We contacted our customers after a couple months of usage, and they didn't see much of a difference in taste between the caffeine gels because the black tea was so overpowering. And so now we just made it the black tea gel. So now we have 4 gels on our current SKU list. We have original, blueberry, raspberry, which is now berries, apple cinnamon, which is now cinnamon, and then black tea with 50 milligrams of caffeine. Always honey and pink salt, and super clean ingredients. That's always our goal. But anyhow, back in September, back actually in July, we started making a lot of money. We started paying ourselves a little bit. We are profitable. We have great margins because we have our own operations. So we could, we're doing great. We didn't have any debt back then as well, which was great. We were a healthy company scaling fast. And so in July of 2025, we decided to put a deposit on this machine. That machine now works perfectly fine, but it wasn't that easy. I can't tell too much details because there's some legalities involved now. But pretty much we put a deposit down in July for this machine. It was like 10% of it, which was like $6,000. The machine cost us like $66 tax in. Ended up costing way more. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that machine we bought because the other machine simply wasn't employable. We couldn't hire anyone with that machine. It was awful. I was the only one really that could manage it because I had spent so much time doing it. It's one hell of a process. So I had to, there were days, man, when we just produced like from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. straight. Like it was mad because the machine would not stop leaking, fucking up. It really was a mess, trust me. And so we decided to put a down payment on that machine, 10%, and to buy that machine. We were promised, I think it was 1,500 gels an hour with that machine, which was very enticing. And at this price point, you expect the machines to be good, right? And so that machine, we put a deposit down, and they tell us, yeah, it's gonna be ready like in October. So October comes, as you know, for us, October, we're still only in Canada back then, so our sales start to tank. I think we halved. Or close to halved between September and October. October and November were pretty level though, like around 30-ish, 25 to 30-ish. I don't recall the exact figures. But the machine was not arriving. And so we found out that they had not built the machine yet. And I told them, look, it's all right, you're late, but I'm airing on Dragon's Den. And by then we knew the date, it was March 5th, 2026. And I said, I'm airing on Dragon's Den March 5th, 2026, and I need my machine by then because I cannot scale that machine. I will not be able to spend the time to make the gels myself, and I need to hire. And that the whole company is reliant on that machine arriving on time and being good. So they rushed production because they were late, which I appreciated, to be honest. They did care about our outcome. And so the machine arrived to their warehouse in Montreal, I think it was like early January. And by January 18th, if I'm not mistaken, we went to their warehouse to test the gels. And so we're there, we see the machine, it looks fabulous. I'm stunned at how great it looks like it's working. And so we make it make a few gels, and we pass a few, whatever. And then I go, let me just try and open a few. So I take the gel, I rip it, and it just opens all wrong. The whole gel slices in half, honey everywhere. Well, honey was water by then because they hadn't tested with honey yet. That's coming too. And so that was issue number one. The machine was not making gels that would open right. And trust me, when you're selling to runners and cyclists, the gels opening right is really important because, well, if you are on a ride or on a run and you need some energy, the last thing you want is some honey all over your face and hands, and so quite important. And so that was issue number one. Then we started to fix that issue, and they shipped the machine to our warehouse. It was February 10th. It was the day after my sister's birthday, and so we have the machine in the house, and we put some honey in it for the first time because, well, our gels are honey based, and we quickly realized, that the machine was never made to package honey. Then I asked the technician, and he pretty much told me that they had never tested it with honey. And so that was a mess. We had to spend over, close to $60,000 extra to pretty much make that machine work. So we pretty much Frankensteined it up. We took some old parts of our old machine that were working great. We put them on that new machine. So we kind of just mix and match everything to make it one. It is named Frankenstein on the screen right there. Its name is Frankenstein. But now it works. So that took a month and a half of my life and at least 5 years off my lifespan. I'm just kidding. But the stress was unbearable because we had to get it on time. And in fact, Dragon's Den aired on March 5th. And we were still out of stock. The engineers that we hired pretty much took a month. So by March 10th, so like the weekend after Dragon's Den, we had inventory and we could start to send stuff out, which was great. So we were pretty much on time, a little bit late, but good enough. The gels were great. It took us a lot of time to make good gels because, well, a machine, you gotta adapt to it. That's the reality. But one thing also is the opening wasn't right, so we had to clip every single gel manually with a little punch. It was mad. We punched over 40,000 gels by hand like this. Bow, bow, bow. It was a mess, but Dragon's Den went crazy. On the show, we closed all 5 dragons at a $1 million valuation. So is the series over? Not really. We're talking about revenue here, not worth. And so yeah, we did close a great deal on the show, and honestly, it went great. I was expecting a lot more in terms of push, because I see people in the United States with Shark Tank that they get this massive, how could I say, this massive push for a business after airing on there. And we did get a slight push like the weekend of. We had some great sales. But the real push for us came when we started to make our own ads about Dragon's Den. So we, showed ourselves on air talking to dragons. And that notoriety was Trump's, honestly. Everywhere we go now, pretty much, as a brand, people know about us. People have seen our reels. People have seen us on TV. So that's been tremendous for our business, honestly. But the real revenue did not come from the actual show. It was just more like from what we did after. And so when life gives you lemons, right? You make lemonade, and we did with Dragon's Den, which takes us to pretty much now. I mean, there's so many things that I omit from there because it's really hard to resume, or to resume, I guess. 84 weeks in 20 minutes. But that's where we are as a business. We're scaling fast as fuck right now. We're hiring. We have hired, so we have a full-time employee right now that makes the gels. I don't have to touch the gels anymore, though I am tonight because I have an order to ship out tomorrow. So I still am personally kind of involved in the process, but that will change shortly. Right now we're in this warehouse. It's not the original one. It's this one's 650 square foot, which is big enough for us right now, but won't be for long. So we're looking to move out very shortly. We have a few spaces in mind, and hopefully it's signed this week. That's one of the key developments from us in the next couple of days, is to move out and to have a nice big warehouse. We're aiming for around 3,000 square foot, and we're aiming for that warehouse to be our warehouse for the next 5 years, most likely. From my calculations, in a 3,000 square foot warehouse with the right machinery, we could probably scale to about 40 mil in revenue per year. So we should be good. We should be definitely good. Right now, revenue-wise, the company is doing great. Right now, today is June 15th. I think we're on $45,000 on the month. So we should make around 90 to maybe 100. We'll see. We have some banger ads releasing this week, like some real good stuff. Shout out to Mari. He really killed those. Really happy to see that. But yeah, business is scaling. But I don't want to say exactly what our next moves are. But it's funny because at a revenue point, we're actually pretty, like we have, I think, 0.5% of the whole market of Canada for energy gels already. And so, in our niche, like for example, the whole market in Canada is worth, I think it's like, give or take 100 mil a year. And so, we're making close to 100K, about 0.5%, higher months during the summer. But the thing is, like, how big can we get in Canada is the question. I think reasonably, like we could get to maybe 5% of the total market in Canada because we're a natural option. Not everyone wants natural. I think we have a great product, and I think we can get to about 5%. But 5% of the market is what, a mil a month, which is great. 12 mil a year. I mean, that's only for summer. Like it doesn't really average out to 12 mil a year, but it's great, but I'm aiming for way more. We are aiming for way more as a company. The US is 17 times the market size. So yeah, Europe is massive too. So we have some plans to expand our horizons, let's just say, so we can get into a larger market. Because our main driver for growth for us is paid ads. We have great margins, honestly, and honestly, that's the way we do it. We just run ads, and that's the way we mainly scale. With the margins that we have, we can afford a lot, and the great part about it is that with the US, there's an exchange rate that majorly favors us in Canada. We sell for the same price, nominal Canadian versus US, so it's always $64.99 for a regular pack of gels and $69.99 for caffeine gels. Whether you're in CAD or USD, it's the same thing. So we have great margins, even better in the US. And for us, it's just like if we already are at between 0.5 to 1% of the market in Canada, just how big can we get in the US, right? And so that's, I did say that I wasn't gonna say what the plan was, but it's happening like within 2 weeks, so I don't really care. It's just massive for us. It's people spend more in the US. It's a larger market, of course. They run all year long. There's a massive demand for all natural products in the US. Even someone on the presidential, I guess, circle, if you will, is advocating for like removal of like Red 40 and all this stuff. I think there's great market timing for a product like us in the US, and the competition in the US are somewhat laughable, I'd say. They're rookies, and I can see it. Not that I'm not one. I've only been in this business for 2.5 years. But yeah, I could ramble on for hours. I want to keep it short today. It's my first episode back, and yeah, I really did wish that I did, document the whole process, because, well, it would have been nice to have seen everything, because now there's just a massive hole between 31K in revenue to 600 and something thousand. So yeah, I do predict that we'll hit our $1 million goal maybe in August or September, especially with the US. It might come earlier, who knows? Like, it depends how big we get. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, I want to speak a bit about how I am doing in the company as well, because I guess I kind of treat this as a log, as a journal, if you will. And for me, a lot has changed, because I prided myself to make shit happen in the company. That was kind of my role for a bit. Like, I was just raw dogging shit and full forcing it, making the gels, shipping everything. Like, it was hell. It really was. And now I'm in the position where we can afford to hire great people. We have our current employee is amazing. I have nothing bad to say about him, honestly. And we're scaling that team very fast. So we have 2 more hires coming in the month of July, and that'll probably be, we'll add another internal. So we'll have 4 employees by the end of the year. But that's only internal. We have over 10 external employees. So for customer service, for videography, graphic design, whatever it is. So we have a large team, but the team is growing fast. And for me, it's kind of weird to have a team where right now I'm at a point in this company where, I mean, not now, but like within the next 2 hires that are happening in July, I'll be at a point where I could just fuck off to Florida for 6 months and the business would still grow. Like, it would maintain itself, of course, but it would still grow. And so it kind of dawned on me that my role has to change a lot, because it doesn't work anymore. What used to work back then doesn't really work anymore. But that's fine because I had to evolve from what I thought I could become to that role that made the company, really scale at the beginning and just make shit happen, to a role where this is more what I want to do with my life. I want to work on growth. I think my strength is the vision, is the marketing and the branding, and what we do as a brand, how we position ourselves, the actual moves we do. And so a lot of new things are happening for me in this business. And yeah, I mean, we have great ambitions. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I could talk for an hour. Have I done a good recap? I think so. We have exciting stuff coming this year. I cannot wait to be able to document these. But yeah, I think I will do it for this week's episode. I don't want to ramble for too long. Still, 25 minutes of straight talking is massive. But I'll be back every single week. I'll document until we hit that 1 million, and then we'll see what happens next. I already have some ideas because I know we'll hit it very shortly. But yeah, I love what I'm doing, honestly. It's been hell, as I've said 25 times this video, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like the things we had done to get where we are right now are so worth it. I sacrificed two years of my life completely, maybe even 3, because before we launched there was a whole year where I just did that, but I was chiller. So really 2 years of my life where I just sacrificed everything. I was broke. I wasn't doing much in my life other than that. I was suffering. But I'd do it again if I had to. I don't know if that's true though. I mean, I've already done it, so ideally I don't have to do it again, but if I had to go back in time and choose an option, I'd definitely do it again. So hopefully I can also perhaps inspire you through this journey, and to show you that it is possible. Like, I'm just a normal man. I don't come from anything. My parents are not rich, quite the opposite in fact. And you can make something of yourself if you just put in the time. And I'm not Jeff Bezos, I'm not Bill Gates at all. I don't have some specific knowledge that would transform any business in an instant. It's just grit and playing it smart. I think one of the things that we did the best over the past 2.5 years is just give it our all, but also to lay the foundations to a financially sound company. We've dialed down everything to a T, like the margins, the way we operate, everything is dialed down to a T, where we know at any given time what our finances look like, just because we've run by them so much. Like, I know what the margins are on any kind of sale. I'm super aware of what it costs us to be alive and to be present as a company. I think that's how you grow company confidence. It's just knowing your numbers and selling something that people like. We are at, I think, close to $20,000 of MRR, so monthly recurring revenue from our subscription service. That 20K, I know exactly what that translates to into buying power, and that exactly how much that translates to into revenue. So I know exactly how much money is coming in every month from MRR, from projections. I know what the margins are. I know how much cash I'll have, and these are pretty accurate things. So we're doing great. It's fun. I love what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys next week. See ya.